Joanne, thank you so much indeed. Now, folks, here it is. I'm very conscious when Ed Miliband published the Labour Manifesto last week, the first journalist to tweet was tweeting about a spelling error. So let me begin by apologising for the typo, if there is one. You're all going to have to read it now. I am told there are very few certainties in life. Death and taxes, at least one of which will be an issue at this election. In fact, inheritance tax covers both of them. Let me propose a third. Change. Change is inevitable, in politics as in life. Fall of the Soviet Union, Saddam Hussein, rapprochement between Cuba and the United States. It is inevitable. Big political changes do happen. Even here, may come slowly in the politics of Northern Ireland, but it does come, because all politics is cyclical, and the only crime for a party like us is not to be ready when the circle turns round and the wheel comes your way. And we proved we were ready last May when the wheel finally turned our way, and we had that really strong showing in the local government elections, a showing that took every political commentator by surprise. And I say that not to have a go at political commentators. They do what they do. My point is this. There would have been many voters who had been persuaded before last May that there was no point in voting Ulster Unionist because we were on our way off. Right, we were written off as yesterday's people. Well, you take a look, even around this room, but take a look at the results, the number of young Ulster Unionists who were returned as councillors, and you'll see we're tomorrow's people as well. Those local government results sent a very strong message to the undecided and those who are seeking better. It is good again to vote Ulster Unionist. So a year ago, the electorate helped us turn a corner, and now it is our turn to return that favour. There is an appetite for change, and it's stronger than it has been for some years. It's an appetite to stop voting out of fear, fear manufactured by those who have nothing else to offer but scare tactics. People who say, if you don't vote for me, if you vote for that other candidate, bad things will happen to you, like you'll split the vote. Well, as we're in Upper Ban, let me address the fear factor. Upper Ban is a unionist seat. The facts say so, the figures say so, even the political commentators say so. The Portadown Times, in their editorial on the 3rd of April, cut through the flimsy argument that voting for Joanne Dobson would split the unionist vote. Not a bit of it. I quote the Times' editorial of that day assessing the DUP argument. Quote, "They haven't done their arithmetic very well." I would have thought if you'd had 10 years as a Member of Parliament serving a constituency, you could go to the electorate with a message that was a little bit more positive than, if you don't vote for me, you'll get somebody else. So if you read across last year's local government elections for this area, Armagh, Banbridge and Craigavon Council, we, the Ulster Unionist Party, were ahead of the DUP, well ahead, 2,000 votes ahead. So if you are an Upper Van voter, don't vote out of fear. Vote for hope, vote for change, vote Joanne Dobson. This election is about voting for hope. It's about a chance for change to be taken on the 7th of May. There is a real yearning for hope in this country, a hope for better. After all that you have been through, after all we have been through, after all this country has been through, you cannot tell me that this is as good as it gets. I refuse to tell those who paid the highest price that this is as good as it gets. I will not tell young people for whom the Troubles was not a lived experience that this is as good as it gets. I encourage all of you who didn't see the point in voting Ulster Unionist last May to think again. Look at what we achieved last May and support our candidates in 20 days' time. It's one day, one vote, one chance for change. It's time for change. Change's day has come. And with the electorate's endorsement, I want to see a change in the mindset at the heart of the politics of Northern Ireland. For the last couple of years, we have been focused almost exclusively on dependency, whether it's our dependency on welfare or on the block grant. It is time to switch to serious wealth generation. Some of us feel we have done our best in terms of welfare reform and the protection of the most vulnerable. And for the avoidance of doubt, we, the Ulster Unionist Party, believe in the welfare state. We believe in protecting the most vulnerable in our society. And we have walked the walk on that front. Our proposals for amending the welfare reform bill at Stormont were the first to be submitted. And by the way, if you're wondering who was first to identify the so-called bedroom tax as something to be dealt with, it was us. Check the official amendments, go up to Parliament buildings and ask who was first to say we do not like that. From the very start, our intent was to reshape the Westminster Act to the best benefit of the people of Northern Ireland. But we are also conscious of the needs of others, like the people who work 50, 60, 70 hours a week and take home in their back pocket less than some people collect on benefits. Like the business people we look to generate that serious wealth for all. And like the people on the front line of our public services who also need more hope for a better future, or even a better today, because they know as well as anybody the damage being done to our current budget because Sinn Féin apparently are unable to deliver on their promises with regard to welfare reform. We're conscious that the vulnerable will suffer and are suffering as they continue to block progress. We are conscious that all will suffer. Because we're conscious the budget falls without welfare reform, it will come short by £500 million in this financial year. And this isn't about ideology from Sinn Féin. This is about party politicking. It's about Sinn Féin's Southern Command calling the shots. And this is a huge obstacle to allowing us to refocus on wealth generation. And that is the mindset change that we need, off dependency and onto how to generate our own serious wealth for all. I want more prosperous people, I want healthier people, and that will lead to happier people. And half the problem, is that our people simply are not happy. Whether it's the economy, the education system, health or housing, we need to deliver better. And the union, of course, is the way to deliver. It's the best way for everybody, politically, economically, socially, culturally. 100 years ago, we were an economic powerhouse within the Union. In fact, we were a global power. Shipbuilding and engineering, linen and textiles, we had the biggest rope works in the world, and of course, agriculture. Many, many years ago, my paternal grandfather left these parts to go up to Belfast, and he formed a company called Alfred Nesbitt and Company Limited, linen manufacturers. In my office at Stormont, I still have an invoice framed there, because what I like is the line below A. Nesbitt and Company, and it reads, "Deduction of odd pence not allowed." That's how you generate serious wealth. His business was very close to the city centre, and if you go down there and you look around the grounds of City Hall, not just at the City Hall itself, the Scottish Provenance building, you can see in that built heritage the serious wealth that we once generated, and we must aspire to get back there. Imagine how transformational it would be for our society if we were to get back to those days. New life for tens of thousands of people